After Lisa is murdered, John moves to New York to run Vanessa's WM horse boxes. Arriving at his new place of work, John walks into the middle of protection racket shakedown. John throws him out and tells him that they will no longer be paying any protection. After work, Skip and his gang are waiting for John in the car park. John frightened them off with a revolver. John reports the incidents to a police detective, Hannah, an old friend of his who works for the NYPD. She informs John that he may have made things worse, but she and her team were looking to it. In the meantime, he's just stay out of trouble.
I hear your name whispered on the wind. It's a sound, it makes me cry. I hear a song blow again and I can't put my mind, and I don't know why. I wish I didn't feel so strong about you, like happiness and love and all around you. Trying to catch your heart is like trying to catch a star. So many people love, baby. That must be what you are. Waiting for a star to fall and carry your heart into my arms. That's where you belong, in my arms, baby, yeah. Waiting for a star to fall and carry your heart into my arms. That's where you belong, in my arms, baby, yeah.
Another day in New York coming to an end. John steps off the train, a wave of exhaustion and excitement battling across his weary face. He inhales deeply, the scent of the city filling his lungs. His eyes scan the surroundings, absorbing the chaotic energy of the bustling train station. The cacophony of city sounds, honking cars, distant sirens, chattering voices crashes around him. John has been in New York now for a week. Vanessa has informed him that his new apartment is now ready. He's been given the address and the set of keys, and he's now on his way there. John arrives at his new place. The address is a skyscraper. John, looking up at the skyscraper, which is now his new home, he pauses, inhaling deeply, as if embracing the city's familiar scents. Then he moves through the lobby to the elevated and up to his apartment. With a swipe of his keycard, he gains entry. The lobby awaits, promising a haven from the bustling city outside. John strides through the pristine lobby, a newcomer amidst the building's established residents. The elevator doors loom, promising an ascent into the unknown. Unpacking and settling in, he muses, the words echoing softly in the expansive space. Inside the elevator, John's finger lingers on the button, his gaze lost in thought. A faint hum fills the compact space as the elevator begins its vertical journey, a silent promise of ascent. "Nice of Victoria to arrange this place for me," John murmurs, his voice barely audible. The elevator ascends smoothly, carrying John towards new prospects. The city sprawling outside. John unlocks the door, stepping into the echoing emptiness of his new apartment. He surveys the blank canvas, a mix of anticipation and loneliness in his eyes.
Time to put everything in its place and make this my new home.
In the dead of night, a warehouse stands ominously, encircled by a cold metallic fence. The police SWAT team, with Inspector Hannah leading, stealthily advances through the rain-soaked grounds.
All right, people, this is the home turf of the Sirens, Skip, and his band of thugs have been terrorizing the bay for months now. It's time we put a stop to it.
The SWAT team move out, setting up their positions to storm the warehouse, the home turf of the Sirens. The flashing blue lights cut through the darkness, painting the scene with an unsettling ethereal glow. But no police sirens can be heard as SWAT prepares for the final entry. A silent exchange of tense glances passes among the team, each member aware of the grave risks. Hannah initiates the raid. With decisive action, they breach the fence, their mission underway, the stakes immeasurably high. Weapons raised, they advance towards the warehouse entrance, ready to confront whatever awaits them. In the inky blackness of the warehouse, the SWAT team breaches the entrance, their flashlights slicing through the gloom. The sirens are taken completely by surprise. The SWAT team managed to apprehend all of the sirens without firing a shot except for Skip, who somehow seems to have vanished.
All right, Miller. I want them all charged on drug trafficking. There's enough uncut cocaine here to flood the streets for months.
The sirens are each individually read their rights and then marched out to police vans to take them to the station where they will be questioned.
All right, team. We found quite a lot of cocaine here, but I'm sure there's more to be found in this warehouse. Spread out and search every corner. If you find anything hollow, I'll be with the boss.
The remainder of the strike force spread out and search every inch of the warehouse, as well as finding stolen clothes. They find VCRs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and laptops. In the cluttered confines of the warehouse office, Inspector Hannah, Inspector Davies, and Sergeant Jones are surrounded by a fortress of documents. The air crackles with tension as cryptic codes and the logistical nightmares hint at a complex, shadowy operation.
It's all here, everything we need to crack this case. John was right. We did need to get them off the streets. According to this, the Sirens operation was a lot more extensive than we originally believed. I want everything documented and done the right way. I want a solid case on these bastards. I also want a full APB put out on Skip. He's the only one left now, and I want that bastard.
The door swings open, revealing John's sparsely decorated apartment, a space defined by modern lines and a sense of stark minimalism. The apartment is empty, except for the person who has just entered. Vanessa stands framed in the doorway, a vision of dark elegance in her black attire, her face etched with a serious expression. Her poised silhouette cuts a striking figure against the backdrop of John's methodical, work-centric living space. As she ventures further into the empty apartment, Vanessa moves from empty room to empty room, imagining John in this place. Imagine him sleeping, living, eating, even washing himself. She returns to the living room where she discovers she is not alone in John's apartment after all. Victoria enters John's apartment, the sharp click of her heels cutting through the silence. Her sister says nothing. Victoria walks up to Vanessa and stands silently at her side. A question hangs in the air as she breaks the silence. "What the hell are you doing?" The words are sharp, and the meaning is unmistakable.
We are renting this apartment for him. I just wanted to see where he's living. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? And if John was to come home and find you here, find us both here. This is ludicrous. What the hell are you doing, Vanessa? You're becoming obsessed with him. Maybe. Possible. But wasn't that the whole point? Everything we've done was to get John here? Isn't it time we took John, made him ours for the keeping? Vanessa, for fuck's sake, John isn't a piece of furniture that you can just buy and own. He's a human being with feelings. You talk like he's something you own. But it is. Little sister, we put a lot of money and years into getting John. I'm not going to wait any longer. We're going to have John within the month. I waited long enough. We shouldn't argue about this here. John could be home at any time. Let's head back to the apartment. We can talk more there.
For a moment, it looks like Vanessa is going to continue to argue, but then she changes her mind and the sisters leave John's apartment, leaving behind no evidence that they were ever there. The Temple twin walk down the corridor and into the elevator. The elevator doors close just in time as the second elevator's doors start to open. John steps out of the elevator and walks to his apartment door. He opens the door and entered his apartment completely on the way that the Temple twins were there just moments ago. 2 weeks later, John heads towards the fish and chip shop that he found when he was first in New York. The heavy aroma of fried fish and tangy vinegar fills the air, igniting a hunger within him. He steps up to the counter, the anticipation building, with each passing second. With a hopeful tone, John speaks.
I'd like a large cod and chips, please. You know this is the only place in New York that the fish and chips actually taste like home.
His gaze fixated on the fryer, awaiting the golden promise of comfort food. His fish and chips are served. John looks around the little fish and chip restaurant for a place to sit when he spots a familiar face. John crosses the restaurant to the table where she is sitting. Then he asks if he can sit down.
I was hoping I might run into you. I've been thinking a lot about you since we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago in the police station. The information you give me on the Sirens and Skip was valuable. We busted his warehouse on Friday. We got his entire gang. Unfortunately, Skip got away, but thanks to you, we've got evidence to bury him.
After he approached me, and we have the talk of the police station, I went round and got as much information as I could about Skip and his gang from the people that they were terrorizing. Then I texted all to you. I'm so glad you were able to use it.
It was a good effort, John, but most of what you sent, as we already had, but what you did tell us about him being interested in imports, that he may be bringing more in than just goods. Give us an option that we didn't have before. If we could prove who was bringing something more substantial, then cigarettes and liquor, we might be able to bust his entire gang.
We managed to get one of his disciples, and Skip calls them to inform us, and we discovered he was bringing in cocaine. It was enough for us to bust the entire gang.
We managed to get his entire gang in cocaine, but unfortunately Skip managed to get away. I'm sorry, John.
Said Hannah as a look of surprise on John's face, as he replies,
I'm not bothered about Skip. I know he's dangerous, but I can take care of myself. But I know there'd be a few people in Bay Area will be glad to know Skip's gang is out of the way.
In another apartment building, on the other side of Manhattan, another meeting is taking place. You're not doing, as I asked. John has started to see that policewoman. You need to insert yourself into John's life. It worked with Mandy in England. It'll work here.
I don't know if I can do this, damn it. Vanessa, he's had a lot happen to him recently. Lisa dying, him moving to America. It just doesn't feel right. Plus, I could easily fall in love with him.
You will do this for me. Remember, your mother wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for me. And as for falling in love with him, you can play the part, but he is not going to be yours. You will not fall in love with him if you do. I will destroy you. John is going to be mine. No one else is. You see, I am going to be the only one that has John, even if it means destroying my own sister.
Lola realizes there is something seriously wrong with this woman. She should not be acting like this, obsessive, determining to have John no matter what it costs her. Lola agrees with her. The fish and chip shop. The sharp scent of vinegar mixes with the heavy aroma of fried fish. Then her gaze falls back on to John.
I didn't really come here to talk about Skip and his gang. I actually was hoping to have a word with you about something personal.
Oh, okay. I suppose we really haven't had much time to talk since I got back to New York. The only time I got to see you was when I came in to report what happened with Skip. So what you want to talk about?
The fish and chip shop buzzes with warmth as Hannah leans in, eyes sparkling. The aroma of fried food hangs heavy in the air.
It has to do with you coming into the police station, you see. When I saw you again, this is difficult. I realized I still have feelings for you. I know it's been over 2 years. But when I saw you again, the old feelings came rushing back, and I was a little overwhelmed with how much I felt. I think I'm still in love with you.
Oh, Hannah, I am not in a really good place right now. I never told you when I came to the police station why I came back to New York. I suppose I'm going to have to talk to someone eventually.
Hannah prepares herself to be scorned, but what John says next shocked her to the core.
Okay, I'll try and explain. 2 years ago when I came here, I was setting up a business for Victoria. I was still in love with Lisa, and I never kept that from you.
Yes, of course I remember all of this. It was one of the reasons I originally broke up with you when I saw you back in America. I thought you'd finally got Lisa out of your system.
Yes, that is why I returned to England. But when I was there and messed things up with Lisa, but before I could put things right, she was killed when a mad woman attacked the hospital she was working at.
Oh God, John, I'm so sorry. Of course I heard about the shooting. It was all over the news here in America. But I never thought the Lisa they mentioned on the news was your Lisa. I'm so sorry.
Steam curls upwards from their plates, abandoned for the moment.
Why don't we forget everything I just said? How about we meet here, say every Friday around about this time, just as friends? Then if that's okay with you?
John responds, a warm smile spreading across his face.
Yes, I really would like that now. I suggest we eat our fish and chips before they go cold.
After they finish their meal, they part as good friends. Hannah in her heart knows she wants more, but she's willing to be patient. 2 hours later, Victoria is standing inside John's apartment, about to have a conversation with John her sister wouldn't approve of. John gestures towards a seat near the coffee table, a hint of anticipation in his eyes. Victoria hands John a note before she sits down. On the note is written, "I think my sister has bugged your apartment."
You know, this apartment block has its own lounge. I think I'll go down there for a little drink. Why don't you accompany me, and we can continue to talk about work?
That's an excellent idea, agrees Victoria. John nods his head, and both stand up and move towards the door to leave the apartment. Once they are in the hallway, Victoria confirms that it's now safe to talk.
Why should I trust you at all? I know you and your sister have known each other your entire lives. And what Vanessa told me about you only meeting 3 years ago was another damn lie.
John doesn't say anything else, just walks through the elevator to the lobby once they reach the lounge of the apartment building. Victoria takes a seat and gestures for John to sit down. He does.
I don't know how you found out about me and Vanessa, but you're right. We have known each other our entire lives. But what she told you about us being separated as children is correct.
So you're finally telling the truth. I have a friend in the Blackpool police force. I was able to get all the information I can about you. I know that you grew up in England with your father.
Okay, if you know this much, let me tell you the rest. Yes, it's true. I grew up with my father in England. My mother and my twin Vanessa grew up in New York. But all that changed on my 7th birthday. Father went to court to get access to Vanessa. I didn't know any of this, but after a lengthy court battle, he managed to get visitation rights.
And because your dad wasn't a rich person, it was your mother and your sister that used to fly to England twice a year. You would spend time with your sister, and you would get to know each other.
Realizing John seemed to have more information about her than she expected, she decides to tell him the entire truth.
I know you don't have any reason to trust me, but since I was shot, things I think differently, so I'm going to tell you everything. As you said, I had my sister visiting me in England. After this has been happening for almost 5 years, Vanessa suggested that we should switch places. By this time, we were 12 years old and we knew everything about each other's lives.
Okay, I can understand that curious about each other, but surely your parents knew the difference.
You see, that's just a thing they didn't. I became Vanessa, Vanessa became me, and they never knew we switched back again. Of course, when we next visited England, and we kept doing this right up until the time Vanessa turned 18. At that point, she decided to go to medical school. I didn't want to, so we went back to living in our own countries.
But something must have changed, because I know you have identical apartment in England and in America. You drive the same car, and you have the same medical job and medical skills.
Victoria pauses momentarily, unable to look at John, then she decides to tell him the entire rest of it. She looks back up at John and continues her story. Okay, so here's the rest of it. When I was 25, my mother died at the reading of the will we discovered, but my mother's family were millionaires, and that money had been divided between both Vanessa and me.
When I was in America for the reading of the will and the funeral, Vanessa and I spent a long time together. Now that we had all this money, we decided what we were going to do with it. It was Vanessa's suggestion that I go to medical school, and that once I became on a level of medical knowledge that she has, we would swap places again. It took a while finding the right buildings that had the same kind of layout for the penthouse in both countries. It took us a while, but we managed it, so we started to live in each other's lives. That's exactly what we did, and we've been living this way ever since. Until I met you, I said I was going to tell you the whole truth, so I will.
Night has started to move in by the time Hannah approaches her apartment in the bustling city of New York. Hannah steps into her apartment, the click of the lock, a stark sound in the silence. She collapses onto the couch, a sigh escaping her lips as she sinks into the soft cushions. She had had many relationships since John and her split up. It was her own fault. She told him that she wasn't interested in a relationship because she was too busy with her exam to become a detective. She now realizes, after seeing John again in the police station after such a long time, the emotions that were stirring within her, while like nothing she had experienced before.
Come on, get a grip on yourself. He's just a man in a world full of them, but oh god, that accent. I love his English accent. Stop it, girl. Stop thinking about him. This isn't helping.
Except when she was with John, she made love before meeting John, but the sex with him was just so exciting. She'd had sex after John, but never felt the same, now seen him again. She had made up her mind she would go after John like she went after getting her detective shield. Her eyes gleam with newfound determination, a silent promise hanging in the air. The following day at WM Horseboxes on the Bayfront, Victoria strolling to John's office, she smiles at John, and they takes a seat behind his desk.
Good morning. I wasn't aware that we had a meeting time for today. And which one are you, Victoria or Vanessa?
It's Victoria, and we can speak freely here. I had this place checked for bugs last night. When the place was closed, it's clean.
Okay. If that's true, can you please tell me what you are doing here? And are you going to help me with your sister?
That is my intention, but me and my sister aren't seeing eye to eye. Just recently, she started to keep whatever she's planning from me, so we're going to have to do this a different way.
So, what are we supposed to do? How do we get your sister off my back so I can live my life without any more interference from her?
You must be patient. You must carry on as if you know nothing what I've told you. Continue with what you originally planned to do, what you and Mandy talked about, and I will work to help you from the inside.
How do I know I can trust you? How do I know that you're really Victoria, not Vanessa? This is so damn hard. I don't know who I can trust.
I can't prove that I'm not Vanessa. We literally are identical. But I will tell you that I fell in love with you all those years ago in the hospital while you were recovering. I can see you're looking a little uncomfortable, but it's all right. I understand that you do not love me, and I have come to terms with that, but because I do care about you, I will do everything I can to help you, but if you don't trust me, I can understand that too. Now, if you will excuse me, I've said all I want to say. We will talk again soon.
She does not say anything more. Instead, she gets up and leaves the office, leaving John to ponder on the conversation. This is just taking place. A week has passed. John opens the door of his apartment to find Victoria standing there, looking at him with a serious expression on her face.
Don't just stand in the hallway. Come in, Victoria.
Victoria steps inside, her heels clicking against the floor as she moves.
It's all right, we can talk here while you was at work yesterday. I had my people come in and remove Vanessa's bugs.
I can't believe you walk in and out of my life as if it's your own playground.
I'm sorry, John, you're right. Of course, I should have asked you first. Please, forgive me.
It's okay. It doesn't matter now, Victoria. It's done now. What did you want to see me about?
I have to warn you. I have to go back to England next week. I was only here for 3 weeks. It was to attend the medical conference, and I've already been here longer than I should have.
Okay, I remember everything you've told me about your sister. Now all you have to do is, when you get back to England, tell Mandy everything that we have talked about.
I hope your plan works, John. But remember, I won't let you destroy everything that me and my sister have created here, but I will help you get away from her.
If everything goes as planned, I should have your sister out of my life by this time next month. Just do everything that I've asked you to do. It's gonna be alright, Victoria.
You're right, of course. I will see you again tomorrow at the warehouse. It will be the last time before I go back to England.
Trust me, Victoria. It'll all work out. I promise you now, you better get back before Vanessa becomes suspicious.
The next morning, Victoria walks into the WM horse boxes. She only has 4 days left before she has to return to Yorkshire, England. John opens his briefcase, the scent of leather and ambition filling the room. He passes the reports to Victoria, a subtle tension as their fingers brush. Victoria accepts the reports, her expression unreadable. "Thank you, John. Let's take a look at these," she says, her voice calm yet sharp.
Now that I've looked these reports, if Vanessa asks what I was doing here, I can give her an honest answer. I'm sorry I can't be more help on the Vanessa front.
It's alright, Victoria. You are doing everything you possible can in the limited time that you are here. We just need to get something on your sister that we can use as a leverage to make a back off.
Well, something strange did happen yesterday. I tried to get into her office in the penthouse, but the door was locked. I listened for a couple of minutes, and she was talking to somebody. After a while, a young teenager left the office and left the penthouse. I only saw the back of him because I was in the living room. I don't know if this is any help to you.
I don't see how this can help us. But thank you anyway. Victoria. Well, if you will excuse me, I have a busy day, and I have work to do.
With nothing further to do, Victoria leaves the warehouse and goes back to the Vanessa's car, an absolute duplicate of her own car. Victoria gets into the car and drives the classic Porsche back into the city home to Vanessa's penthouse. John on the tube train, on his way back to his apartment. On the tube train, John settles down into a seat across from him. He recognizes a familiar face. It is Lola, the air hostess. Before he can spoken to her, she gets up to say hello.
Do you mind if I sit and join you, John? It's really good to see you again.
John nods his okay. Lola sits down gently at the side of him for a moment. They travel in silence. Then she says,
I have a 3-day layover in New York. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind if we were to spend some time together. My apartment's not far from here. I could cook you a meal tonight.
You know what, Lola? I think that would be really nice, especially after the week I've had. I would love to come back and spend some time with you tonight. Thank you for the offer.
They travel in silence until the tube train pulls into the train station. After the tube train arrives at the station, Lola and John exit the train. Together, they walk out of the tube station and into the night. In Lola's apartment, a heavy silence hangs as John gazes into Lola's eyes, a storm of unspoken feelings brewing beneath the surface. She turns to John and she removes her coat.
Do you like what you see? Because I like you a lot.
You are a very beautiful woman. I do like what I see. Where are you exactly expecting this to go?
I'm hoping to start a relationship. I've never hid the way I feel about you since we met all those years ago and then again just recently. I know you're still suffering through the loss of Lisa, and I can understand if you don't want to open your heart just yet, but I waited all this time. I can wait a little more.
You are a very beautiful woman, but a lot has happened to me in the last couple of years. Yes, Lisa died, but at the time of her death, we'd already broken up. Do you see, before I left to come to America, I was in a relationship with another woman. I'm not absolutely sure how that relationship is at the moment, but she is also from New York. But I'm not sure if it's enough.
John slumps down into a chair. His words hang in the air, a fragile confession of his inner turmoil.
I can understand, John. Maybe it was just a little bit too soon for you.
It's all right, but that's a lot more to what's been happening to me than what I've told you. For one thing, I discovered that Victoria was a twin, and her twin lives here when I was here. The last time it was her, I was dealing with not Victoria.
Oh, that's awful. So they both been lying to you. Do you know why?
I do. Vanessa has become obsessed with having me. You see, I have no shortage of women trying to get their hooks into me. I'm not actually meaning you.
Do you think Vanessa could be dangerous? Do you think she may become violent if she doesn't get what she wants?
I don't know, but her sister did tell me that she was dangerous, so it's a possibility. And anyone I'm dating would be a target. You understand?
I understand, but if we were in a relationship, then I would take the good with the bad, and if that means a mad woman coming after you, I'll be right there with you.
I thank you for your support, but you've got to understand. She destroyed my relationship with Lisa. I can't. Not again. I just can't take that chance. If you want me to leave, I will leave now.
The weight of John's history fills the space between them, heavy with the burden of past conflicts and reconciliations.
No, I promised you a meal, you might as well stay. If she's watching you, she already knows you here, so let me cook you that meal. Her voice softens, a hint of melancholy entering her expression.
Her words hang in the air, a bittersweet acknowledgement of their reunion. Lola's apartment is on a typical New York street. A man watching the apartment. The man turned around to reveal it is Skip,